stay still for a breath. This moment carries weight, not because of noise, but because of timing. Many scroll past words like these without noticing, yet you paused. That pause already reveals something about your inner state. I am Shi Heng Yi. I speak to those who sense that life is more than reaction and rush. Today's message touches a truth rarely spoken openly. Why certain souls arrive at certain moments, and why recognition often comes silently, without ceremony. This video reveals why presence matters more than achievement. Why endurance shapes destiny deeper than success. Why being tested often means being trusted. These principles rise from Shaolin discipline, lived practice, and quiet observation of human nature over many years. Remain until the end, because this message unfolds in layers. The first layer meets the mind, the next settles into the breath. The final one rests within the heart. Each layer prepares you to receive what follows. You will learn why struggle refines rather than punishes, why waiting strengthens inner authority, why divine approval does not arrive as praise, but as clarity, stillness, and alignment with one's path. Many teachings promise motivation. Few teach mastery. Fewer still explain why resilience matters more than comfort, and why calm awareness becomes the highest form of strength. This is not entertainment. This is instruction for those ready to stand firmly within themselves, without noise or validation. Welcome to Shaolin Divine Flow, a space for discipline, wisdom, and inner clarity. Subscribe and continue this path with us, slowly, consciously, and with purpose. Pause. This moment did not arrive by chance. There is an order beneath what looks like randomness, a quiet intelligence guiding attention before the mind can explain it. You did not search for this message. You were drawn here, and that distinction matters more than most realize. Life constantly moves people past signals meant for them. Noise, urgency, distraction, these things blur awareness. Yet sometimes attention locks in. Something inside says, stay. That inner pull is not emotional impulse, it is alignment. When awareness and readiness meet, the message appears. Many believe meaning is created only through action. In truth, meaning also arrives through timing. Certain insights cannot reach you earlier, not because they are hidden, but because you are still becoming the person capable of receiving them. Wisdom does not force itself. It waits. Look back quietly. Moments of loss, delay, and uncertainty shaped sensitivity. They slowed the rush. They refined perception. Without those experiences, this moment would pass unnoticed, just another sound in a crowded world. Readiness is built through friction. There is discipline in the way life communicates. It does not shout. It places things gently in your path and observes whether you notice. Awareness becomes the test. Not intelligence, not strength, awareness. This instant carries information meant for your current state, not your past self, not a future version. The present one. That is why it resonates. That is why the words feel close rather than distant. Nothing meaningful enters randomly. Every encounter has a role. Some teach through presence, some through absence, some through silence. This one arrives through attention. Stay with that awareness. Let it settle. The message continues because you are prepared to listen now. Today carries a different weight because timing shapes understanding. A message heard too early becomes noise. A message heard too late becomes regret. But a message received at the precise moment of readiness becomes direction. This day did not choose you by coincidence. Your inner state met the message at the exact point where resistance softened and awareness opened. There were days before this when these words would not land. The mind was busy. The heart was guarded. Life was moving too fast or too heavy. Timing is not about dates on a calendar. It is about inner seasons, and something within you has shifted. This moment arrives after endurance, after quiet effort, after patience that felt unseen. You may not mark this day as significant outwardly, yet inwardly it holds a turning point. Recognition often comes without ceremony. Growth rarely announces itself. Arriving here now means the lessons behind you have done their work. They stripped illusion. They sharpened perception. They taught restraint, humility, and presence. Without those experiences, this message would pass through, without depth. Timing also reveals trust. Life does not place responsibility into unsteady hands. Awareness is a responsibility. Understanding carries weight. This moment suggests readiness to hold a deeper perspective without distortion or ego. This day reflects alignment between effort and awareness, between struggle and insight. You are not here to escape difficulty. You are here to understand it. Understanding transforms burden into clarity. Nothing external forced this encounter. It arrived quietly, as all meaningful shifts do. Not as reward, but as confirmation. The path continues, but now with steadier footing. Something within you is no longer searching blindly. It is recognizing. You carry marks that never became stories, battles that stayed internal, strain that never reached language. Others saw movement, routine, and progress, yet they never saw the weight carried beneath it all. Survival often looks ordinary from the outside. Inside, it reshapes everything. There were moments when the body moved forward while the spirit felt paused. Moments when strength was not confidence, but persistence. You showed up without certainty. You continued without applause. That form of endurance is rarely recognized, yet it builds the deepest stability. Some pressures were designed to collapse your sense of direction, to make you question your value, to thin your patience. Yet instead of hardening completely, you adapted. You learned when to hold, when to release, when to remain silent. That intelligence is forged under pressure. Not every struggle is meant to be spoken. Some refine internally. Silence was not weakness, it was containment. You allowed experience to teach rather than broadcast pain for validation. That restraint preserved clarity when chaos surrounded you. There were nights when clarity faded and resolve felt borrowed from tomorrow. You rested without answers, you waited without reassurance. Still, something within refused to surrender entirely. That resistance was not force, it was rootedness. Breaking points arrived disguised as endings. Relationships shifted, expectations dissolved, paths narrowed, yet each collapse removed what could not travel further with you. What remained became lighter, stronger, more aligned. Survival did not make you louder, it made you precise, less reactive, more aware. The trials did not steal your essence, they refined it. And now, standing here, the evidence is simple. You are intact, present, capable of recognizing meaning rather than demanding it. Waiting often feels like absence, like something essential was overlooked or forgotten. The mind interprets delay as rejection, yet life rarely works through denial. It works through preparation. What feels like stillness on the surface is often movement beneath. Unanswered prayers are not empty space. They are tension points where clarity is formed. When an answer arrives too quickly, dependence forms. When it arrives through waiting, understanding develops. Delay builds independence of thought and steadiness of spirit. Stagnation is misunderstood. From the outside, it appears as lack of progress. Inside, it is recalibration. Direction is being refined. Intention is being tested. The pause reveals whether desire is genuine or driven by urgency alone. There were moments when comparison increased doubt. Others moved faster. Doors opened elsewhere. Yet speed does not equal alignment. Many arrive early only to leave prematurely. What stays requires grounding. The weight of waiting trains perception. It removes fantasy. It confronts impatience. It teaches you to distinguish between impulse and purpose. That lesson cannot be rushed. Unanswered prayers also protect. Some things asked for would have weakened rather than strengthened you. Some outcomes would have limited growth rather than expanded it. Delay filtered intention to maturity. This time of waiting sharpened discernment. You learned to listen beyond noise, to adjust without panic, to trust process without certainty. That trust is not passive, it is active presence. What is forming now carries durability. It is not fragile enthusiasm, it is informed resolve. When movement returns, it does not feel frantic, it feels deliberate. Nothing withheld was taken away permanently. It was simply being shaped to arrive in a form you can hold without losing balance. Pain often feels personal, as though life has turned against you. Yet hardship rarely arrives as punishment. It arrives as instruction. Training does not comfort, it strengthens. And strength is built through resistance, not ease. Every challenge carried a lesson hidden beneath discomfort. Pressure refined focus, loss stripped distraction, difficulty exposed attachment. Each experience adjusted posture, breath, and awareness. The training was subtle but consistent. In discipline, repetition creates stability. Life followed the same principle. The same patterns returned until understanding replaced reaction. Once awareness shifted, the weight changed. The lesson no longer needed force. Suffering revealed habits that weakened you, impulses that drained energy, expectations that created disappointment. Training does not judge, it reveals. Once seen clearly, correction becomes possible. This preparation was internal before it became external. Patience trained timing, restraint trained control, uncertainty trained adaptability. These qualities cannot be given, they must be earned through experience. Many abandon the path during training, mistaking resistance for rejection. Yet the presence of difficulty often signals proximity to growth. When something matters, it demands capacity. You were not being pushed away. You were being shaped inwardly to carry more responsibility without collapse. Expansion requires structure. Without it, growth becomes instability. Training also built trust within yourself. You learned that discomfort could be endured, that clarity could return, that stability did not vanish under pressure. This knowledge becomes a foundation. What once felt heavy now feels instructive. The same circumstances that caused doubt now offer insight. The shift was not external, it was internal readiness. Nothing in this process was wasted. Each experience added precision, endurance, and calm authority. Preparation does not announce itself, it reveals itself through capability. Even when the world pressed hard, your heart did not close completely. It bent under weight but did not break. It absorbed pain without turning to bitterness. That softness is strength disguised as vulnerability, a rare form of resilience few ever cultivate. Hard seasons arrive to test not just endurance, but character. Many survive through walls built around themselves. You survived without erecting walls that cut off empathy, without trading compassion for cynicism. That choice matters more than recognition. It preserves integrity when chaos surrounds you. Emotional resilience is not denial, it is presence. It is observing storms without being swept away. You felt grief, fear, and doubt. You acknowledged them quietly. You did not allow them to dictate your direction. That restraint carries authority that cannot be taught. Moral strength is revealed in small decisions repeated daily, choosing patience over anger, choosing understanding over judgment, choosing calm over reaction. These choices may have seemed insignificant at the time, yet they forged a foundation that no external pressure could crumble. Remaining soft required courage. Each act of kindness, each moment of forgiveness, each instance of holding faith instead of surrendering to despair was a declaration you would not let hardness define your path. That courage is invisible to most, yet it shapes destiny. Even in isolation, even in uncertainty, the heart persisted. It remained open to hope, to growth, to connection. It refused to harden into resentment, and in that refusal, it became unshakable. This balance between tenderness and endurance is rare. It allows wisdom to grow without arrogance, patience without complacency, and love without weakness. Your heart became both shield and compass, guiding through trials while remaining true to its essence. Hard seasons could not steal the core of who you are. Instead, they revealed it. And that revelation is not loud, but it is powerful, enduring, and undeniable. The weight you have carried begins to shift. Doubt that lingered like a shadow, questioning every choice, every step, slowly dissolves. The heaviness that pressed on your chest, making each day feel longer than it should, begins to lighten. Something within signals closure, not with noise, not with fanfare, but with quiet certainty. Self-questioning, the endless echo of "Am I enough?" or "Will I ever arrive?" starts to fade. These questions served a purpose. They revealed gaps, weaknesses, and unacknowledged fears. but their time is ending. You have reached a point where reflection transforms into clarity, and uncertainty is replaced by trust in the journey itself. The chapters of fear, hesitation, and restless searching are drawing to a close. They leave behind lessons, not scars. Every misstep, every moment of stagnation, every period of waiting has contributed to this quiet understanding. It is not the absence of struggle that marks growth, but the recognition that struggle no longer controls you. Endings often arrive subtly. They do not announce themselves with drama. Instead, they appear as shifts in perception, a soft release of tension, a new way of noticing your own strength. You realize that the things that once seemed like barriers were shaping the very foundation upon which your next steps will stand. This closure does not erase the past. It honors it. It acknowledges the effort, the resilience, and the patience that brought you here. It allows the mind to stop cycling through what-ifs and the heart to stop carrying unnecessary weight. Something ends here. The uncertainty, the heaviness, the self-doubt, they no longer define the space you occupy. What remains is steadiness, clarity, and readiness. A quiet readiness to step forward, fully present, with lessons retained, burdens lightened, and the soul prepared for what comes next. Congratulations does not arrive because a goal is achieved or a dream fulfilled. It arrives for the unseen work, the quiet transformation that happens while no one is watching. Growth is measured not in applause, but in the subtle shifts of character, patience, and understanding. That is what earns recognition beyond the surface. Life often mistakes results for value. Achievements are celebrated, failures lamented, yet neither fully captures the depths of who a person is becoming. Divine approval, however, honors the journey inward. It observes how challenges were met, how patience was held, and how integrity persisted when compromise was tempting. Every hardship endured, every lesson absorbed, every moment of restraint contributed to this becoming. You did not notice the full weight of your own development because transformation works quietly. Yet each choice, each act of perseverance, shaped a stronger, wiser, more centered version of yourself. That version is worthy of acknowledgement far beyond any outcome you might have sought. True congratulations recognizes alignment. Alignment between intention and action, between heart and mind, between who you were and who you are evolving into. It honors the courage to remain soft in the face of hardship, to remain patient through delay, and to remain present even when uncertainty surrounded every step. The divine does not measure your worth by the speed of your progress, the visibility of your results, or the applause of others. It measures the growth of the soul, the resilience of the heart, and the steadiness of the spirit. That growth becomes the foundation for all that follows, unseen yet undeniable, subtle yet profound. This recognition is not fleeting. It does not depend on circumstance. It is permanent in the sense that who you are becoming cannot be taken away. The congratulations you receive now, silently and steadily, is for every quiet triumph, every inner victory, and every moment you chose presence over distraction, patience over panic, and becoming over mere attainment. Take a moment and feel it, the quiet strength within you that survived, endured, and transformed. Every struggle, every delay, every challenge was not a punishment, but a step toward who you were always meant to become. Recognition has been given, not for the things you achieved, but for the depth of your growth, the courage you carried, and the heart that stayed soft when the world tried to harden it. Let this realization settle. You are not defined by outcomes, by speed, or by approval from others. You are defined by presence, by resilience, and by the quiet authority that comes from walking your path with awareness and integrity. That truth is yours to carry forward. If this message resonated, honor it by staying connected. Like the video, subscribe to Shaolin Divine Flow, and join a path that values wisdom, discipline, and inner clarity. Together we continue to grow, not for recognition, but for the power of becoming. Remember this above all. The calm within you is unshakable. The light within you is undeniable, and the path before you has always been aligned with your true self. Walk it steadily, and carry this knowing into every moment.